Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to another team guide. Today we are looking at Chelsea for Football Manager 2019. These little team guides, just to give you a rough overview of what to expect if you want to take control. We're talking, budgets. We'll have a quick look at the staff, what the board expect you to achieve in the first season, because some saves are really difficult. And also just take a look at the squad, what areas we might think we need to strengthen in, and all that sort of good stuff. So without further ado, let's go into what they expect us to achieve this season. So we've got the Charity Shield to look for in the Europa League. So straight off, we know we're going to need a decent-sized squad because we've got a lot of games to get through. They are going for Champions League, top four, which is, to be expected. Final of the FA Cup, so quite demanding. Charity Shield, they don't give a shit. League Cup, don't care. They're going to say final, aren't they? Yes, final of the Europa League. So quite high expectations, but obviously Chelsea, very, very good team. How much are they going to give us to spend? 49 million. Yeah, it's all right, isn't it? To be fair, we do have £400,000 a week on wages, so we can maybe do a little bit of budgetary adjustment unless you're going to get somebody on ridiculous wages. If we just look quickly at the team report, just to give us a rough idea, lack of depth. And with the Europa League, that could be a definite issue. Depth up front as well. But Cesc Fabregas is one of 10 good options in central midfield. Okay, we'll play the old 1-8-1 formation, shall we? So we've had a look at finances. We'll have a quickly look at the dynamics just to see if it's all okay. There's no obvious problems. That's fine. That'll improve with pre-season. We do go into the Europa League in group stage, don't we? Okay, none of this qualifying bollocks, lads. We've got Man City in the Charity Shield. Good luck with that. All right, let's have a quick look at the squad and give us a better idea. You might have heard of a couple of these players. They're half decent. Right, first off, we've got the brand new goalkeeper, Kepa. We'll go with that. The game thinks he's a 4-star potential player. Remember, compared to our team, not in the world. And he's actually pretty decent. He's pretty slow off his line, so a sweeper keeper attack might be at the question. They need to be quite quick off the line. But a good all-rounder. No obvious weaknesses. What's his kicking's 14. His throwing's 13. It's a decent distribution. Not too bad. We don't need to go crazy with the goalkeeper. Obviously, we've just signed him as well, so you can't, even if you wanted to, you can't sell him straight away in the first window. And we've got Canyonero as the backup. He's a perfectly good backup. If we move on to centre-backs, we've got Gary Cahill, who is wanted by Atlanta. The old retirement league. Gary Cahill, £6.5 million. He still do a job. We'll have a look at the rest of the centre-backs, but for the money we're going to bring in, I'm not necessarily sure we need to just straight out just chuck him away. We've got Kurt Zouma out on loan. He's at Everton this year. We can't recall him, which is a shame, really. If we could recall him, then I'd just get rid of Gary Cahill and have that. He's still going to improve. Then we've got Rudiger, who is wanted by Bayern Munich. I've never heard of them. Very, very good player. This is his second season with us now. He's still going to improve. 25 years old, good, well-rounded, without being exceptional. But he's quite pacey for a centre-back, which is nice. Then we've got, as centre-back, we've got David Luiz, the crazy man himself. He's all right. Could we cash in on him? It's £31 million. We'll have a look at the others. His positioning, very actual realistic. I'd say that probably is his biggest weakness. He's good at everything. He just, goes on a wander every now and then, doesn't he, David Luiz? So that's fine. We've got Azpilicueta, who he can pretty much play anywhere across the back. I wouldn't play him as centre-back. He doesn't have the height reach. He's got 9 heading, 9 jumping. So for me, he's a right or left back, but still a decent player. Actually, I still rate him higher than what they've given him. But he's 28 years. He's in his prime. He's not going to get any better. Is that it for centre-backs? Okay, we're not getting rid of Gary Cahill. All right, let's move Kurt Zouma out. Let's get rid of all these. You can check these guys for yourself if you... Like, Bakayoko's not bad as well. Well, he's crap in real life, but, Kennedy. You can go past it. There's quite a lot. I think we've got a ton of loanies, haven't we? Mason Mount, good young player. Let's get rid of all these. Batshuayi. We'll move him out as well. Okay, so as far as centre-backs go, that's a little bit worried. Oh, we've got Christensen as well, who's pretty good. probably the best of the bunch. Nice and pacey. We've got some pacey centre-backs, boys. It's still not fantastic. It doesn't fill me with confidence. As for full-backs, we've obviously got Azpilicueta. We've got Zappacosta. He's all right. Nothing exceptional. Pretty well-rounded. You could play him as a wing-back or a full-back defend. He's still good enough to do both those roles. But without being exceptional in any way. We've got Emerson, 24 years old. Pretty good. Left-footed. Pretty rapid. Good dribbling and first touch, which is really nice for a fullback. I actually quite like him as an attacking threat. Marking's 12, a little bit on the weak side. What's his positioning like? 12. Slightly better going forwards than backwards, but you could even, to be honest, with that pace and stuff. What's his passing? 13. You could play him as a winger if you had an injury crisis, definitely. Not too bad at all, but can play on both sides, which is nice. We've got Marcus Alonso. Again, good, well-rounded player. Can play as left mid as well. Good set-piece taker. Decent in the air as well, which is great. Woohoo! Victor Moses, who's kind of been forgotten about this year. Great if you want to play a wing-back. I'd just get rid, to be honest. He's worth £25 million. I'd 100% get rid of this guy. 25 million? He can't defend for shit. He's got 4 marking. So ignore that stat. Ignore the possibility whatsoever. I think you're back to playing him as a wing. Yeah, just get rid. Let's not talk about it. Let's not waste any time on Victor Moses. He's 27. He's not going to get any better. Get rid. Bring in some extra cash. So as fullbacks go, it's okay. But as you can see with the ages here, there's a number of 30 plus a number of players that are just coming into their prime. In the next 2 or 3 years, there's going to be a lot of rebuilding needed. We've got, obviously, Kovacic on loan from Real Madrid. A very good, very, very good playmaker. Not the quickest, but enough. 14 for acceleration and pace. Comes deep to get the ball, plays 1-2s, knocks the ball past the opponent, and runs with the ball often. So he comes deep, gets the ball, kicks it past the dude, and then runs with it. Okay, what's his dribbling? 17. Okay, well, he can do that job. Fair enough. We'll take him. Do we have any sort of... he's got a £135 million release. Can we buy him? I can't remember. I don't think we can. It comes up here, doesn't it? Yeah, like future fee. So we don't have any future fee arranged, but he's pretty damn decent. Next up, we've got a fucking brilliant player, this guy. Absolutely superb. Jorginho, 26-year-old Italian, and he's a beast. He's a beast of a playmaker. I think he's good enough, that sort of player, that you could play him in a bunch of roles. Not the best attacking-wise as a box-to-box, but you could play him easily as an advanced playmaker. You could probably play him in the number 10 role, although, like I said, not the best attacking, but still a very, very good player. And N'Golo Kante, do I need to say anything about this guy? He's really good. Keep him. He's great. Danny Drinkwater, because, they didn't have enough Englishmen. This was a pointless signing. Feel a bit sorry for him. I think footballers need to learn not to take the big cash money because it can destroy their careers. They spend 2 seasons getting no football and then go to Swansea. No offence, Swansea. I just plucked it. He's an okay all-rounder. He's only worth 8 million. I'd probably just keep him as we've got another English player, and he's okay for injury crises, backup cup games. Especially with the Europa League. Yeah, I'd definitely keep him. Just have him as a Europa League man. We've got Cesc Fabregas getting on a little bit now. His physicals are horrendous, but he's one of the best passers. First touch 18, passing 19. What's his vision? 18. Yeah, he's going to pick a pass. And he can play more as that number 10 role because he's actually pretty decent attacking as well. So very good player still, but and again, next season we're going to have to look to replace him. Christopher Barkley. Just starting to get to grips, I think, now. I think he's starting to settle at Chelsea in real life. Very good all-round player. Plays the number 10 or in that central midfield. Loftus-Cheek. How do they rate him in the game? Not that great. I actually think he's a really good player. I take him at Liverpool. I think he's really good. Decent, well-rounded player. Again, probably another Europa League man. Van Ginkel. How long is he out for? 10 months. Okay, let's just pretend he doesn't exist. We've got Willian, who's very, very good, pretty rapid, free kick taking. 16, I would have said 18. I think he's a very good set piece taker. He'll run all day for you. play as a winger, and he's got the pace and the crossing and the passing to do so. That's nice. But you could play him as an inside forward if needed. Not the best finisher, but you can. Or as that number 10 role. And then we've got Pedro. Willian's 29. Pedro's 30. This definitely needs a bit of help in a fun rebuild job, I think this one would be. Can play anywhere beyond 10. You know all about Pedro. Not the most quickest in the world. He's not too bad. Optimistic, I'd say. But that's natural fitness of only 13, meaning that once he gets to this sort of 30 years old, his physicals are going to drop quicker. So he's 2-footed, which is lovely. I'd probably keep him for maybe a season and then look to move him on while he's still worth a bit of money. Although 45 million. Oh, I might take that, to be honest. Next up, don't get too excited. It's not Thorgan Hazard, the better Hazard. It's his, crappy version. Yeah, he's really good. I'd let him do whatever the fuck he wants. I'd let him sleep with me missus, to be honest, if he asked, if that made him stay at the club. Get him on a new deal. He's only got 2 years left. But other than that, he's really good. You can play him as an inside forward. You probably play him as a lone striker. You probably play him in goal. Maybe not. He's quite small, isn't he? Then we've got our big target man, Oliver Giroux. Ollie Giroux. He's great as a target man. He does have the player trait, plays with back to goal. I don't like lone target men at the best of times, but with back to goal, you really don't want to be a lone target man because you'll have no striker a lot of the time. He's going to start dropping deeper and stuff like that. You need somebody to run off him, so that's more important. Morata, pretty turdage in real life, but in the game, he is still very, very good. So I'm looking at 2 up top, although that is literally our only 2 strikers. Okay, I'm looking at 1 up top. I think as good as Giroud is in real life for Chelsea, as an FM player, I'd probably dump him off. He's worth almost 30 million quid, and I want to play 1 up top. Where would we spend our money? What was it? 49 million pounds. This is also where I want you guys to get involved in the comments. Put in below if you're managing Chelsea, what you did, who you sold, who you bought in, what tactics work for you, etc., etc. Help each other out to be better at the game. But I'm not okay. I think this one's shape-wise. I think this is pretty easy. I'm not going to go through roles or build a tactic or anything. I just want to show you the shape. This is the shape I'd use. Morata, I'd have Hazard on the left as a really attacking. I'd probably have him sitting a little bit narrower, really supporting the striker. He's going to bang in goals coming in from this side here. We've got a load of number 10s. We're stocked for central midfielders, so I think this works really, really well. We've got Barkley who can play in there, a bunch of other players. You might want to have a winger on this side just to supply a few more balls and have them whizzing across. Don't float balls across, because a lot of the time from this angle, if we've got a winger, a lot of these balls naturally are going to end up over here with Hazard running on, and he's not a big target man, so that might be the option. And then I'd have a left back bombing on. Where I spend my money, I think if I'm going to get rid of Giroud, I need another striker. It doesn't have to be a world-class striker, because I think Morata is perfectly good. He's only 25. I just have somebody as his deputy. And as for the rest, I think this is great. All we need, I'd cash in on maybe Pedro if we needed the money. I'd keep a lot of these not-so-good players, like I said, for the Europa League. Drinkwater, perfect for the Europa League. Loftus-Cheek, again, and he's going to improve as well. I'm getting rid of Loftus-Cheek. I think we need to start looking at fullbacks, I think. They're all okay. None of them are really sort of amazing. In this sort of formation, I would say fullbacks are not quite as important, because they're going to be mainly... You might want to have a wing-back here that's pushing on past Eden Hazard as he cuts inside. So maybe you want to go for an all-out proper left-back if you're not happy with Alonso. But I definitely look to improve in the defence, and then maybe next year, maybe look to upgrade in the defence again and goalkeeper. But I think that's a really decent squad. We'll have a quick look at the under-23s just to see if there's... I bet there's a ton of fucking players in here, isn't there? If you can keep your job and get top 4 and have these players back, can we recall him? That would have been perfect. We wouldn't have had to buy a striker. I think Batshuayi's a decent player. these two players can come back and do a job. And same as Bakayoko at the end of the season or in January, if you can recall them, I think would be good. Casey Palmer looks like a red-hot prospect. Oh, he's 21, a little bit older than I thought. Physical's not amazing for a 21-year-old, but I still think can do a job. And then we've got an absolute shit ton of average players. At the end of this season, when they all come at the end of the season, when they all come back on loan, you could probably make 50 million just out of this shite that you've got in the team. I'd have a massive clear out, to be quite frank. Keep some of the good young, especially English prospects, but get rid of half these guys. The Babaram and Kennedy, Pasalic, all that sort of stuff. Look at the money just sitting there. Let's have a quick look in the under-18s. Oh, okay, I've heard of this guy. He must be good because I've heard of him. 17-year-old. Mentals are a bit... But could with a bit mentoring, he needs to up his determination a little bit. It cuts inside from both wings, so that's naturally... You can get rid of that, or work on him as more of an inside forward, maybe Eden Hazard's backup sort of thing in a year or two. But does need to work on his finishing to be decent at that. But there's a couple of decent prospects in here. Dashwan Redan, decent all-rounder. So as for where we'd spend our money, I'd go defence. It's got to be defence. I don't see any other need, quite frankly. And I'd get rid of Giroux and spend maybe 10, 15 million pounds on a good young striker that can be the backup for Morata. Obviously, I'd keep Cahill and Drinkwater, all those players, because always keep in mind we've got Europa League, and there's a shit ton. There's like 600 games in the Europa League. Don't quote me, but that's fact. So keep an eye out for that. But there we go, my friends. Like I said, get involved in the comments. Help each other out. Give suggestions, all that sort of good stuff. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. I've got tons of FM19 content, Let's Plays, series, guides, all sorts of good stuff coming. So make sure you check that out, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.